Hi guys, Shelley Merrell here. I own a fire protection company in Ventura, California, and I am here for my third mentor session. So hopefully I can help you guys along here with these questions. The first question I received was from Law Jackson. The question was, I could use some help staying on course while I build up more revenue. What are some affordable ways to stay accountable with my sales and process implementation? Business description and background of the question are: thanks to 8 months of mentorship, I have a basic sales process, a short list of vendors, and a project manager in training. I thought sales was my biggest problem. Then I thought it was my limited capacity. Now I know it's my poor system of processes. I'm figuring out my process from sales through production. It's not perfect, but it works. The real pain is removing myself from the different stages and still getting quality results. You may remember that I'm transitioning away from freelancer mode. It's still just pretty much me. I have a loose plan with 100 little things to do each week. What are some ways to implement process, improve my ability to delegate, and develop sales? Do you think an accountability group would help? His elevator pitch is kinetic text makes brands memorable with animation and motion graphics. And while I've seen your animation and motion graphics, and I love them, they're just awesome. Um, so basically, he's asking how to stay on track and get all these little things taken care of and not get distracted, not distract himself away from stuff. One of the things that can be used as a good productivity method is time blocking. And time blocking is basically, I always picture it like when you're in high school and from 8 to 9 you're in history class, and from 9:15 to 10:15 you're in English, and then so on and so forth. Um, you There are different Excel spreadsheets you can use to plan out your daily activities by those time frames so that you get as much done as you can within that time, and then you just stop right then and you move on to the next thing. And over time, as you develop that process and it becomes a routine, you'll see that um, what I've had happen is I have less and less to do in that time frame because I'm pretty much caught up. Um, there are a couple of different things I looked up for you. There's something called ClickUp, and it's a free project management tool that will help you do time blocking and whatnot. And I found that on a website called thesuccessmountain.com. What I use here at work when I do my time blocking is I actually have a little kitchen timer, and I have it sitting right on my desk, and I'll set it and then, kind of go from there. Hi, Robin. Hi, Anissa. I see you guys there. So Law, hopefully that helps. It's a struggle. It's a struggle that I even have daily, just trying to stay on task and not let one project take up all my time, so that I'm not taking care of all the little things as well. And it is good that you've got the other person in training that will hopefully help you. Um, anyway, reach out if you have any questions on that stuff. Okay, so the next question is from Mary Ranticalio. I'm not sure I said that right. I'm sorry, Mary. Um, and she asked, how do I determine how to pay someone to do work for me? Business description and background of question is: I have a therapy machine for horses. I love horses. And have now found a person to hire to use it. What would be the best salary alternative? Hourly paid or per treatment? One treatment is 30 minutes and minimum charge of $50. The person knows a lot of people and is located in a training center for horses, and there is demand right away. I'm a veterinarian currently working with small animals as a contractor. permanent resident sponsoring process is ongoing. My first question, if I were trying to come up with this, is what's your cost? A good guideline that many people use is they'll take whatever it costs them and then they mark it up 10% for overhead and 10% for profit. I'm not sure if you could possibly search Indeed or Upwork to see what the going rate is for something like that. Or if you've already paid somebody in the past to do this and you know roughly what the going rate is, or what is that person asking for salary. It really is going to come down to, you got to know what your cost is going to be. And once you know what your cost is going to be, then you just kind of mark it up from there. You want to make sure you got your overhead and your profit taken care of. And that should give you that amount. But I'm interested to see how that works out for you. And I'd love to see videos of your horses sometime, or you doing the treatment. That'd be really awesome. Okay, the next question is from Adam Drake. What benefits have you received both personally and professionally by getting individual coaches and accountability forums, and when would you recommend someone start investing in it? Business description is I lead a team of financial advisors and I own the company, a registered investment advisory firm. For me, it's kind of an interesting story. I was in a really bad place with my business, And Sean kept popping up on my Instagram feed. And every time I saw one of his videos, it really felt like he was talking directly to me, to the point I ended up reaching out, connecting, sharing my story with him. And by joining the group and investing in coaches and forums, it's completely changed my life. I can honestly say it's completely changed my life. I had no direction, and joining the group and getting coaches gave me that direction. We were able to dial in and nail down what direction I needed to go in and where my focus needed to be, and that has been huge. I started out with a coach named Dom, and I joke around a lot with him saying that he gave me my fuck you back, because he really did. And I think what has been a huge thing is just helping to build that confidence. They give you a validity that you may not be receiving in other places. And it's been huge. I even go so far as to say going through the culture index, which, you know, if you've been to a leadership retreat or anything, that's one of the things we go through. I actually credit the culture index with saving my marriage. So it's been really helpful to have coaches and forums. I would, if I were you, like what I did, as soon as I found out about it, I started investing immediately and listening to Sean, and he matched me up with, people that would be a right fit for me. And so I would say ASAP, start investing in it. You're only investing in yourself. So, that's my answer. I have an awesome team of coaches and mentors. I have Sean, Joel, Sharon, and Peter, and JT. Several of the mentors here in this session are just absolutely amazing. And I highly recommend working with any or all. So hopefully that helped. Get involved. Invest in yourself. Okay, next question is from Brandon Phillips. His question is, how can we start cultivating, finding, and hiring technical workers for our business as we grow? The business description and background of questions. I own a small two-man HVAC company. For service techs, they need to know what they're doing before we hire them. My challenge is I could go out and sell a bunch of work and need to hire someone quickly. How can I prepare for that? Well, Brandon, I've had this exact same problem. Our technicians have to have certain licenses, certain amount of experience, been through a apprenticeship program. It's never ending. I will say that finding technically sound employees is a challenge for businesses across the country. It is definitely not easy. My question though would be, is it possible maybe to steal somebody from a competitor? Um, that's always an option. Um, Also, you could always place an ad on Indeed or ZipRecruiter or any one of those places that will find people for you. It's always hard to know if that person is going to be good or not, because when you interview them or you read their resume or whatever, that's the best you're ever going to see. So um, from that point on, it really takes experience in working with them for maybe a few weeks or whatnot before you know if they're actually going to work out. We always have a probation period. Ours is a 90-day probation period where we can kind of just say, no, that's not really the right fit. Um, and then there's also, I'm not sure what area you're in, but I know in our area there are a couple of service trade temp agencies. One was called Labor Ready. Um, there may be a few others in your area, but I understand not wanting to sell the work if you can't perform. That's been a problem for us here too. And as we grow, um, it's just a never-ending battle finding those people. Um, but again, I would say try stealing from a competitor, maybe. Okay. The next question comes from Abraham Marcos. At what point am I crossing the line between boss and employee? The, the business description and background. I recently hired a new employee. We've been paying him day to day to get him back on his feet. Recently, we've decided to have him go full time and put him on payroll. I've already given him a pay advance, and today he asked if I would be interested in buying some HVAC materials left over from a side job he did a while back. I know this would help him out a bit, but at what point am I crossing the line between boss and employee? I'm not really sure how I feel about this, and I want to make the right decision and keep it professional. Um, what I have found with employees is if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. And I try not to fall into that trap of helping somebody out. I mean, we all need help. And if you start helping that person out, then it becomes almost like part of the culture, and other employees would expect to be helped out too. So I personally would advise against it. Um, as far as doing those payroll advances and whatnot, that can put you into a bad predicament. And if, say, for instance, that person up and decides to quit, you're out the money with no recourse. As far as buying the stuff he has left over from a side job, is it stuff you would buy normally? Is it stuff, if you buy it, will you use it? Will you be able to sell it? If you can turn around and sell it, then I don't see why you couldn't buy that from him. That would be fine, but me personally, I would steer away from um, doing payroll advances and that kind of stuff. I know that everybody's in a bad situation, especially this year, and we can only do so much um, to help them out. But you're giving them a job, and that's a huge help. So, I mean, that's more than what a lot of people can even be doing right now. All these small businesses closing down and whatnot. Just, be proud. He needs to learn how to control his money a little better. I don't know. But I fell into that trap before and I got burned. So all I can really say is as quickly as you can put that line down between boss and employee, get it established. And another question from Abraham. How do you set up good communications if your team also happens to be your spouse and family member? I own an HVAC business, and my wife and sister are in the business. There has been conflict, and we are trying to find right ways to have good communication and respect each other's roles. Any guidance you have would be appreciated. Well, it's never easy to work with family and or spouses. I can attest to that, but it can be done, and it can be very successful. Um, what I would do in that particular situation, especially when you've got the wife and the sister, that can or could potentially get kind of sticky there. I would say if you have the roles of each person clearly defined, written up, um, talk a lot about being a team, promote the team, make sure your company culture is getting established as team focused rather than individually focused. Um, those things could help with that, but it's going to be very important that each person acknowledges their own role and understands the problems that can be caused if they cross those lines into other roles. Also, which I know you're familiar with too from being at leadership stuff, is the daily huddles. If you're implementing the daily huddles and talking about any kind of problems or communication errors or whatnot, that might go pretty far in keeping them on track daily. So I don't know, but working with family is never easy. It's going to be a challenge. And I would say just get those roles clearly defined and make sure they both understand them. Anyway, hi Joe, I see you too. Look forward to seeing you guys in February. That was all the questions I had for now. Hopefully that helped you out, and feel free to reach out anytime, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care.